Thousands of people are going to look at this and they're going to see how. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daily Energy. My name is Shelby Leboeuf with Anytime Fitness Peoria. I'm a personal trainer over there at the club, and I got my guest this morning, Kelly Schneider. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. It's November, and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, so I would say that the weather is perfect outside. Kelly, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do for a living?
Well, my full-time job is I own a company where I make virtual tours for realtors. I've owned, excuse me, I've owned that for about 5 years now. I am also the area director consultant for the Peoria area BNI. So that's Business Networking International. So I'm basically a support person for all 8 of the chapters we have in the Peoria area. And then I also work part-time with a not-for-profit that does weekend retreats for stroke survivors and their caregivers called Retreat and Refresh Stroke Camp.
So you're a pretty busy person then, right?
Yes, someone told me I was type A the other day, and it never dawned on me that I actually was.
Type A, what's that mean?
I think it just means that you're involved in everything because that's what made sense for my person.
So you're one of those all or nothing type of people.
It looks like it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming on the show this morning.
Absolutely.
So since you're busy all the time, did you get a chance to watch the Cubs game?
I did. I made time for that.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I was up pretty late that night, and I was excited for the Cubs. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I mean, it's been since 1908 since they won the World Series, so that's quite an accomplishment, and I think that in the future they could be really good.
I'm technically a Cards fan. I mean, that's my team, but I did feel like the Cubs really were due, and I was rooting for them, so that was good. And I do think they have a really good team, so I think they got a future as far as going places.
Yeah. Did you go see any games this year?
I did. I went earlier in June to one of the Cards games, but that was actually the only one I was able to make this year.
Gotcha. I was watching the game, and probably the funniest thing I saw was LeBron James's reaction. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did.
He was freaking out. Like, it's all over Facebook. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of memes made on Twitter of just that picture of him. So I'm really excited for the memes.
I saw a bunch of Bill Murray stuff. That was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw someone the other day at the gym with a Bill Murray shirt on. I was like, who is that on your shirt? And he was like, Bill Murray. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, Kelly, so where are you from?
Well, my dad was actually in the Air Force, so I moved around every 4 years. I was born in Texas. I lived in England, South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, and then Illinois, where my dad retired from the Air Force right before I started high school in Orion, Illinois.
Okay. Now, where's Orion at?
Orion is just outside of Moline in the Quad Cities, so it's about an hour from here.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play any sports in high school, or what were your hobbies?
I played soccer for 2 years. Not very well, but I did play it. And then I was in band all 4 years.
Band geek, huh?
Yeah, I got a really sweet car out of the deal.
What instrument did you play?
I played clarinet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Squidward,
Yes.
right? From SpongeBob.
Exactly.
Anybody knows what Squidward is? I mean, you gotta know. You gotta know your stuff. So it's okay. When I was in high school, I was second string punt return at IVC here in town in Chillicothe, and I was like, all right, I'm done. So I quit. They always say that, like, winners never quit, quitters never win, but I quit, and I wouldn't say that I'm winning now, but I would say that, I've definitely came a long way from that day that I decided to quit football when I was 18. So what's your family like? You mentioned that your dad just retired from the Air Force not too long ago.
It was a little while ago, actually.
Tell me about your family.
Well, my mom is actually 100% Irish. Her parents are born and raised in Ireland, and she was born in Ireland and grew up in England. So she's got all of her side of the families over there. And then my dad was born in Iowa, and so his family's in the Iowa area. Actually in the Quad Cities as well, so that's pretty nice. We get to see them pretty often.
So what do you do on a regular basis? What's your day-to-day look like?
That's a great question. I ask myself that all the time. No, my real estate business, like I said, is my full-time job. So I make virtual tours for realtors. I try to do those basically like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays if I can. And that way it gives an extra day in between that for processing. My sister's my photographer in that business, so that's really
Okay.
nice. Basically, on a day like that, we would go to a house, um, more than one house, but we would go to a
Yeah.
house. My sister takes pictures of all the insides of the rooms, and then around the outside of the house, I do measurements from the outside of the house, and then I go back inside and draw the inside interior walls, doors, windows, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We do videos and stuff like that as well. And then on days where I'm doing more networking stuff, I might go to a couple of BNI networking groups or a chamber event. I go to the office at the stroke camp and help out with some admin stuff there as much as I can.
So, what do you like to do for fun? I mean, it seems like you pretty much work around the clock. I mean, you got basically three different jobs. I mean, what do you do?
Well, I mean, I do still have a lot of fun. I make time to go see friends every single week, do a lot of going out for dinner or just hanging out and watching TV shows or movies, getting caught up, stuff like that. I actually like doing crafts with my sister. We haven't really done that as much as we probably would lately, but we'll pick that up soon. So, I don't know, go out to movies, stuff like that. So
Normal stuff, right?
normal stuff. You got to make time for a normal life, even if you're crazy
Exactly.
busy.
Yep. So, what does BNI stand for? I have no idea.
Sure, sure. Actually, if it wasn't for Business Networking International, I wouldn't be a business owner today. I joined that organization when I worked for an appraisal company, and that's actually how I got started in the whole real estate thing. But basically, in each chapter, it's exclusive membership. So you're never going to have competition with somebody from your industry in the chapter. So if there's a realtor in the chapter, they're going to be the only realtor in the chapter, the only mortgage professional, the only banker in there. And that way, what you're doing is you're really creating and cultivating relationships with the other members in your chapter. And hopefully, you're building trust so that you can pass referrals and do business with each other, but also pass referrals to people outside of your network. Because on average, each person has at least around 700 people in their personal network.
Mm-hmm.
And by you being there, you're representing the 700 people in your network. So it's not just the 15, 20 people in the room. It's actually all of those people as well.
Right. Yeah. I sub in for Doug on some BNI meetings, and it just seems like a really laid back kind of environment. You know, you go to the meeting, kind of talk about what's new with everyone, and then you just get right to business and kind of ask what you're looking for. Basically, it's just a way because everyone knows everyone, pretty much, especially in Peoria. So, like, if I were to ask you, hey, do you know a guy that does like mold and asbestos and stuff? First name that comes to your head is probably
Scott
who?
Maurer.
Scott Maurer, Maurer Environmental, right? Exactly. So, every week, I mean, at least when I go, he says the same thing over and over again. And it kind of just gets stuck in your head, with all that rain that we just had yesterday, right? Or was it the day before?
The day before, yeah.
Okay, my days are getting mixed
I
up.
know, it's like a blur.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a really good way to meet new people and grow your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's the structure to it. So if you were to go to another chapter, we're going to have the exact same structure as we do there. It's just going to be different people doing the exact same thing. So it's nice because it is an international organization. And if you were to go somewhere in a different country where you don't even speak the language, you would still know where you are in the meeting agenda because it's all done the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing what you're doing currently?
Well, I've owned my business now for 5 years, but that's because I've been in BNI for 8 years. And as I mentioned, if it wasn't for BNI, I actually wouldn't own my business because there's a realtor in my chapter who said might be a part-time job opportunity that I might be interested in. So she's actually the one who introduced me to the people who got me started doing what I do.
Okay.
Then there's the attorney in my chapter who got me legal through the business. the people who did my logos, business cards, all that stuff. But anyway, so I've been in BNI since 2008. And then because I knew those people and had built those relationships, I knew how to start a business and I knew who to go to help me start a business. So that's what helped me there. But as of last August, of last year, sorry, that's when I was asked to take the area director consultant position and step in. And basically, because I have held all of the leadership positions in a BNI chapter, and I had visited and substituted for people in pretty much all the other chapters in the area, everybody had started to get to know me anyway. I was already building relationships with those people. So to be able to come in and just come in as a support person and just step up my role in there, it was a very easy thing to integrate into it.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So what, I guess, made you interested in that? Like, I mean, when you started, what, like, did you have a goal of getting up the totem pole to that kind of level, or?
When I started in networking, is that what you're referring to, right? Okay, so when I started in networking, I had never even heard of networking. Like, it wasn't even a blip on my radar.
Right.
But the business that I had been working for before, they always knew the value of the networking and the referral business. And so they would put the new people and new employees into chapters around the areas. So I basically went to this thing. They said, you're going to go to this meeting. There's like 40 people in that particular chapter. And I'm sitting there with another gentleman who I did work with from my office. And he offered to introduce me to my chapter, to the chapter that I was going to be in. And I'm watching everybody do their 30-second presentation, which is where you have an opportunity to say who you are, who you work for, what you do specifically, and then who you're looking for a referral. So I'm watching all of these people stand up, and in front of all of these other people, there's like 40 people in there, you know, tell what they do. And he said, do you want me to introduce you? And I was like, no, you just got to pretend like you do this all the time and just do it. And so I just stood up and introduced myself and acted like it didn't scare the heck out of me and I was terrified. But, you know, after that, I was really interested in getting more involved. Like I said, I took on leadership roles and stuff like that. But I didn't know about networking. I never thought that that's how I was going to move up. I never thought of myself as starting a business or being a business owner. That actually scared me as well. But, you know, I think it's because I started to build the confidence. Excuse me. You also have the opportunity to give about a 10-minute presentation to your chapter about what you do. And it's really educating the people in your chapter about what you do so they know how to explain your business or share referrals with you with who they know. But by doing those presentations and by standing up in front of people every single week, that does so much for your confidence and just your public speaking abilities. And so I really credit a lot of my building my confidence in not only just becoming a business owner, but being able to step up in these positions or give presentations and help other people with how they network. You know, I credit that to the education that I've received through BNI. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember to this day, the first day that I went to Doug's meeting, and he didn't tell me anything about it, kind of like what he did for us today.
Sounds like that's his thing.
Definitely. Doug, we got a bone to pick with you. Anyway, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to totally wing it and just went for it. And now I've been probably to meetings now since April, and now it's just easy. I mean, we got some real aggressive people in there, like Bach last week, and Dr. Kelch, and Scott Maurer, all those guys. I mean, at first, they can be pretty intimidating, but as you get to know them, you're just like, they're just people. I mean, they're just your average, like, everyday Joe type of guys. I mean, they still like to go have fun on the weekends, and they still want to, you know, have families and all that good stuff. So, are you working with Patrick? I think I've seen you at the gym a few times.
I am working. Speaking of aggressive people, no, I'm working with Patrick. Yes. So,
how's he doing with you?
It's going really well. That was a very scary coming out of your comfort zone thing that I did, but I guess it started just over a month ago now. So I've seen him several times, and it's been awesome. The first thing that I really appreciated about the way that we did that was his consultative approach, because the very first time I actually just sat down with him for about half an hour and just talked about what my goals are, what my expectations are. We talked about my health. We talked about, just really getting to know me and what I'm expecting and what I want and how to get there. So I really appreciated that. And then, we've just been slowly working my building up on my weights and stuff like that. So that's been
awesome.
Fun.
How many times a week do you work with Pat?
1 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's really good because, you go in and let's say you're a brand new gym person. You've never been to the gym before. Have you ever been to the gym before?
No.
Me. See? So, I mean, he's very just like kind and gentle. And then, as he kind of warms your heart up a little bit, that's when he like really attacks you.
I figured it was coming.
So be warned.
Yeah.
No, he's awesome. He spends a lot of time with the programming of his clients, and I mean, he's always on his laptop, so he's always doing something on that Trainerize app.
Oh yeah, I mean, like he hit me up this morning. I sent him a message yesterday, and he already got me back. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you doing this weekend?
I have a BNI social this weekend. One of our chapter members owns over 100 acres out in Washington, and so we were gonna have a big potluck out there. I believe it was open to everybody in BNI. So if you're in BNI, check your email.
Gotta check it.
Yeah. So.
All right. So, what about any other sports that you like? Do you watch sports at all other than baseball?
Honestly, not really. I played soccer for a long time. I thought that was like the easiest sport to watch, and that's just because it's more consistent, like go, go, go. Whereas, to be honest, I think watching football is like a roided out version of red light, green light. I'm gonna get so many people mad. But it's like you get all excited and then it's stop, wait, now we're gonna line everybody up again, and I don't know. So I'm just not into that. But over, I don't know, probably the past several years, I've really started to enjoy watching baseball, and I like going to games. And
it's America's pastime.
Beer and nachos. I mean, in America's pastime.
There you go. That's better. So what can BNI do for someone such as myself? Like, I'm always inside the gym, right? I'm literally there from early in the morning to late at night. What can BNI do for me instead of working inside of my business if I step out and go to those meetings?
Well, think about that. Even if you just had 10 people in a room, just for easy number's sake, I'm not a mathlete. So let's say we've got 10 people in a room, and let's just knock that average down to 500 people in everybody's personal network. I mean, you've got that many people in the room, 50,000 people. So instead of you having to go out and specifically meet hundreds of people every single day, you can build quality relationships with these 10 people, let them really understand what it is that you do and what you do for people, and then those people will bring their networks to you. And then not only that, but you would actually be providing a lot of value to the people in your chapter, because all of the people that come to you, those might be the exact people that your chapter members are looking for referrals as well. Maybe you're talking to somebody that has a leaky roof. You've got a contractor in your chapter maybe, or, any of those things. Somebody needs catering. You've got somebody in your chapter to do catering.
Jason Countsman, Chick-fil-A.
Now, see, I'm involved with like 8 chapters, so I can't really just call out one person from.
That's the only one that I know.
I know.
That does catering. So, I mean, definitely I think that networking could be a good opportunity for most people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why do some people not choose to do networking?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about networking, and that's what I really like about BNI is we provide a lot of education. We really want people to understand how to properly network. You think about how many times you might go to an after hours for a business or anything, and there's different types of people that might go and attack this situation. There's the person that wants to go around and just get everybody's business cards. I'm going to do business with them and them and them and them. It's like, well, they haven't really gotten to know you. They don't understand what you do. And not only that, but that's very short-sighted because there's only however many people in the room. But again, we're looking at the people, your outside network. And so by building the relationships, that's how you get access to each other's outside networks. And it's supposed to be mutually beneficial. You can't just go in and say, I'm going to sell them and I'm going to sell them. Like, what can you really do to help each other's, businesses or lives? And so that's what BNI really focuses on. BNI is all about the giver's gain, which is in helping other people first, it's guaranteed to come back around and help you. And so
we're getting deep here.
I know. Hey, I know my BNI stuff. But that's really what that whole thing's about. It's really about the training and stuff. And so the people who have never been exposed to that or don't understand how much training's involved, they might not think that BNI is a good way to go. The other thing that really we get a lot of pushback from is really the investment, because BNI is a time and a financial investment, but there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, we're going to get people who are actually valuing the system and committing themselves to the system if they're willing to spend an hour and a half every single week meeting the people, as well as taking time outside of the meetings to meet with the chapter members. Yeah. And then not only that, but to pay the money. And, it's $465 for a year, and there is a one-time $150 application fee. But that application fee will go to the person's education for the rest of their lifetime as a member. So you're never going to pay for books or trainings or anything like that. That's all covered there. But if you're really looking at that, I mean, you're paying like less than $10 a week to have a sales staff meeting. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you were to have 10 employees that you paid every week to go out and sell your products and services, I mean, that's way more than $450 a year, basically. And so when people start to understand it that way and they're able to, and talk about it and understand the breakdown of it, and then that's when they see the value is a lot different, from just, I got to pay that money up front. It's much different than that. So yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I mean, they look at the price tag and they're like, oh, I don't want that. But if you understand the value, I think you brought a good point up, is the value, like value, whether it's networking, whether it's personal training, whether it's chiropractic care, whatever it is, there's always a value, especially in the service industry. It's all about what you bring to the table, really. So really good point. Let's see, you got any questions for me? Oh, you're just firing away. So are you originally from Peoria?
I'm not. I'm actually from New Orleans, Louisiana.
What?
Go Saints.
Nice.
They just beat the Seahawks last week. Doug and Bach, they didn't pick that game. I don't know why. I would have went for the Saints all day, Doug. But yeah, I'm from New Orleans and was living down there for about 5 years, and here I am.
Yeah. So what brought you here then?
Just family stuff.
Sure.
Family, and been living up here since I was 5.
Okay.
So I love it up here. I love the snow. I love every season, respectively. I mean, they all bring their own joy. They all bring their own, beauty. Right. We're getting real deep here on the podcast. This is definitely something interesting for sure.
This is why Doug should let people know what they should be doing prior to coming.
It's all good.
No, it's great.
What's your favorite season?
I like being warm, so I'm not gonna lie. I
Summer,
do love
spring.
summer, but fall, as far as like decorations and colors and stuff like that, it's obviously beautiful this time of year. So
okay.
Plus, girls love their layers, don't we?
All the scarves
Boots
and
layers.
Pumpkin spice latte,
Ugh,
cinnamon dolce, 2 pumps of caramel, right? No, Starbucks. You don't like Starbucks?
I mean, I love coffee, but I don't need the pumpkin spice stuff.
So coffee. What you got in there? Coffee
from out there.
Well, yeah, but what kind? Like,
it's just
you
coffee
got cream and sugar, or
oh no, it's a vanilla creamer.
Okay.
I like a flavored cream. I don't need sugar with it if we have flavored cream.
Okay.
Just
Gotcha.
tasty.
So,
Do you drink
let's
coffee?
see.
Oh, yeah, you said you had a big coffee on the way here.
I did. Well, no, I had it probably like in the wee hours of the morning. Um, we got about 5 minutes left. Let's see. Go over what's going on the next like few months until the end of the year for you.
Oh, well, real estate season does slow down this time of year.
Okay.
But it's just the way it goes.
Mhm.
However, getting to take pictures of people's houses when they're all decorated is really fun because, some people go all out and then it gives you inspiration on how
All
I'm
the
going to
Christmas
decorate.
lights
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's nice.
pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
I carved pumpkins the other night.
Oh,
It was
did you?
awesome. Hmm.
This big fat squirrel came and stole all my baby gourds. Oh, so bad.
Gourds, what's that?
Like the little tiny baby pumpkins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, seriously. Like my dogs and I spotted him on the patio the other day. He was scoping them out, and we scared him off, and he came back.
What kind of dog you have?
Well, I've got Finn is a Chihuahua, and Murphy is an Italian Greyhound mix. So they're both little guys. Like
Okay.
Murph's only about 15 pounds, and Finn's like 12 pounds.
Those dang fat squirrels. Fat squirrels, if you're watching, which you're not,
Back off.
just make sure you stay away from our pumpkins.
Insult to injury, don't leave my seeds all over my patio. What a slap in the face.
Oh, man. Have you ever cooked them before?
Squirrels?
No, pumpkin seeds.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting a pot roast back here with some squirrels.
It's on a spick or a spit or whatever it's called. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, I've never done pumpkins. I mean, I guess I have cooked pumpkin seeds before. I like to eat them more than I like to cook them. They're kind of a mess.
Really?
Well, didn't you notice they were messy as you scooped them out of your pumpkin?
Well, of course, but I mean, that's part of it. I actually just use my hand. Like, I don't use the
Right, the big
little
spoon
tools.
thing.
Yeah, forget that. That's just a waste of time. Just get right into it.
Right, there you go. Just make a mess.
So, what are you gonna spend your time doing? I mean, if the real estate season's kind of slowing down, what are you gonna do to be more productive?
Well, obviously, just start planning and preparing for next year, getting some stuff lined up for that. There's always, new marketing ideas and stuff to do,
Mhm.
and it's easy to want to slack off when you're when you're in your slow season, but it's a very bad idea. You definitely need to keep up with your stuff.
So, speaking of like next year, you thinking of like New Year's resolution goals? Have you thought of any?
I don't really do those.
Well, how about your goal with Pat?
Um,
Or is that like classified information?
I wanted to work on the tooth.
Sun's out, guns out.
That's right.
Yep.
So.
What about that fog this morning, man? What's up with that?
I looked out my window and saw it, but it was gone really before I got on the road. You were up far earlier than I was.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But hey,
Just
what are you
looking out
gonna
your
do?
window with the fog.
I'm just like, what is that? Is it snowing outside? Yes.
No.
I love snow.
Ugh, not ready.
Snow's like probably one of my favorite things about winter is snow and Christmas.
Love Christmas.
So-
I love wrapping presents. That's my favorite.
See, I don't even wrap presents. I
If
just
you
like,
need help wrapping presents, hit me up.
all
I
right,
will help. I do a great job. They'll look gorgeous.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day today to meet with me and
Yeah.
come on Daily Energy.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, I guess any last second parting thoughts about
Doug, you
BNI
should
and
probably
about Kelly?
prepare people better. No, actually, honestly, if I could give a little plug, the Stroke Camp is having a trivia next Saturday at Barracks Cater Inn. I know there's still a couple tables open, so if anybody's interested in trivia, there's drinks, there's appetizers, there's lots of raffle prizes. It's always a really great time.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'll be traveling for work next weekend, so I won't get to
Yeah?
go.
But hey, you can still promote them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a burpees for breast cancer event on Sunday. One of my friends' moms actually has breast cancer, and she's beating it.
Nice.
So we actually, as a whole, all the membership at Anytime Fitness Peoria, we were able to donate $500 for every mile that was walked or jogged on
I
a
saw
treadmill.
that on the treadmill.
Yeah,
I saw it.
it was
awesome.
awesome. Absolutely.
Very cool.
So we're going to donate that on behalf of the membership, and I'm just really excited to suck it up during those burpees because I'm probably going to die. So
You'll do it.
Anyway,
You'll be
this
fine.
is Shelby Leboeuf with Anytime Fitness Peoria on Daily Energy.